Emperor Jiran was a cold, brutal tyrant. To secure his absolute crown, he committed the cruel murder of his nephew, Duke Aaron. He ordered the entire castle burned to ash. The Duke's most loyal butler perished there too. But death wasn't the butler's final end. He reincarnated 20 years into the past, awakening inside the young Duke's body. In his past life, Jiran destroyed everything. But Aaron won't let history repeat again. He'll change their tragic fate this time. Days later, Aaron mastered his new form. He found the family treasury was empty. They were reduced to eating dry bread. No luxuries, not even a drop of milk. His sister Chero told him very bluntly, "Having bread alone is a blessing now. No work means no food for us. Work hard, or we'll have nothing left." That night, Aaron gathered his loyal allies. He summoned Chero and Captain Romeo together. Aaron revealed the dark, coming future. The Emperor will eventually slaughter everyone. Chero refused to believe such evil existed. After all, he is their blood uncle. Yet, their royal bloodline was a threat. To the tyrant, they were mere thorns. They must be eliminated for his safety. So they used the forbidden family secret. The blessing of the holy dragon. Chero cast magic, opening a spatial gate. They entered the legendary frozen lands. There, Chero unleashed her hidden fire. Her flames blazed with destructive power. She launched a single, massive fireball. It obliterated a mountain in one strike. The captain stared in absolute shock. He never knew her hidden strength. Chero's power had actually already reached the level of a Tier 7 Archmage. Captain Romeo was terrified by her presence. The abandoned prince would rise up now, to take back his stolen kingdom. His domination was now truly inevitable. The strongest king is born today. On this continent, level 7 is God tier. Yet Aaron knew his sister had limits. She couldn't withstand an entire royal army. In a full-scale war, she would fall. Survival was unlikely. Then, Aaron stepped forward. He drew his sword with cold determination, ready to demonstrate his true martial arts. His blade suddenly erupted in blinding light. It crackled like lightning. Then he struck. An ice-sealing slash tore through the air. The mountain ahead was instantly split apart, sliced like butter. Captain Romeo stood frozen. The sister was strong, but Aaron was godlike. Both were absolute masters of hiding power. Suddenly, an ancient dragon soared high above. It sensed the divine blessing's resonant aura. Descending quickly, it shifted into human form. A man appeared, holding a feather fan. "I can smell the blessing I gave. A gift bestowed thousands of years ago. Should I meet these interesting little mortals?" Next day, Aaron researched his family's bloodline. Deep in the library, dark secrets surfaced. His grandfather was the kingdom's rightful king, but his own brother betrayed the throne. That traitor is now the Emperor Jiran. After the king died, exile was inevitable. Aaron and his sister were cast out. Jiran couldn't kill them in public yet. He feared the people's judgment and rage, so he banished them to a wasteland. A barren land infested with lethal monsters. But the dragon's blessing saved them both. They possessed rare power from birth onwards. They were strong enough to conquer demons. In his past life, Aaron chose peace. He lived quietly, avoiding the royal shadow. But the emperor's assassins hunted him relentlessly. He could never escape his royal destiny. Now, the abandoned prince has finally awakened. Vengeance is the only path remaining now. The throne will soon run red again. The usurper's reign of terror ends today. The strongest king is coming for him, and no one can stop his wrath. Mercy only fuels the enemy's rising greed. This time, Aaron has finally waked up. Cross him, and face your total destruction. Seeking peace, Aaron stands at the square, facing citizens of his massive, neglected territory. The people doubt his strange, new motives. What twisted game is the Duke playing? Lately, the Duke has changed beyond recognition. He summoned the knights who once feasted. Useless gluttons now face his brutal training. His past coldness left his reputation shattered. The people watch Aaron with heavy suspicion. Trust is a luxury he lacks now. He reveals a terrifying truth to everyone. An orc army is marching toward them. Before they reach our walls to invade, we shall launch a strike on them. Aaron's bold plan leaves the masses stunned. This move was something no one expected. Is the young lord losing his mind? They whispered that he had truly snapped. But then Aaron revealed the orcs' horde. They possess vast wealth and endless food. Will you watch them grow even stronger, while we rot and starve in poverty? He spoke with the fire of dictators. My brothers, we shall raid the orcs, and claim the riches that are ours. Hearing about gold, their spirits ignited instantly. The crowd roared their newfound, greedy support. Time to deliver democracy to those monsters. But Aaron was not truly alone there. Someone watched him from within the crowd. A mysterious figure observed the Duke's fire. The ancient dragon, patron of his bloodline. Next day, our Duke is shouting loudly. He's arguing with a balding, old man, trapped in a room of mounting tension. The treasury is dry, empty, and bankrupt. War requires gear they cannot afford yet. Aaron wants high-interest loans for the army. The stubborn butler refuses this reckless gamble. A sudden knock interrupts their fierce bickering. Both men scream at the unwelcome visitor. Standing outside is Captain Romeo, looking grim. Word arrives. A mysterious man carries Duke Renan's personal recommendation letter. It is the legendary strategist Renus. Greetings, Lord. I am Renus, sent by the Duke's word. Renan was my father's loyalist, so Aaron trusts his judgment, and the man he sent Renan even donated massive funds. 50,000 gold coins for war. Aaron buys elite steel armor, using the remaining gold surplus, to renovate his dusty territory. The butler is utterly confused, so our prince gives him a lecture on business investment. A clean facade is vital to lure in the prey. Regarding Renus, despite the letter, Aaron won't grant power yet without a proper trial first, in a high-stakes position. In this coming orc hunt, your strategic mind is tested. Prove your worth, strategist Renus. Rest easy, Lord. Strategy is my greatest weapon, he says. Both hide their true intentions. Aaron plans to exploit him, while Renus finds him fascinating. 1 week later, troops gather fully geared in battle, ready to slaughter the orc filth. They have raided us enough today. We bring them death. Show them true terror now. Long live our Lord Aaron. Our handsome master is invincible. Led by their charismatic prince, they march to deliver justice, reclaiming glory through absolute strength. They soon reach the shadows of the cursed Black Forest, where orcs hide in darkness in their previous life's lair. Those orcs were lawless, fearing no one. Years later, Bran territory faced famine. But in this second life, Aaron's reborn, yet the monsters return. Suddenly, our hero Aaron shouts aloud, calling his sister to take action. Chero slowly emerges from the tent. Aaron signals her to strike now. Chero activates her hidden magic circle. A Tier 5 fireball nukes the forest. An orc boss was lecturing minions, just like some arrogant, fat boss, talking endlessly while his minions noticed. Some minions sensed the coming doom, but the leader kept shouting insults, still barking at his terrified crew. Finally, the massive fireball exploded instantly, sending the entire squad to hell. Aaron wanted low-tier magic only, using magic below Tier 3 specifically, to stay hidden from the Emperor. But his sister went totally overboard. She's a total menace for him. Only Old Long kept his cool, knowing their power would eventually show. One day before the Great March, Aaron gathers everyone to discuss tactics, to plan their next strategic move. Over 2,000 orcs are coming. Though victory is certain, it's costly. We must prevent heavy casualties here. Old Long explains the tactical plan. As the aggressors, we need caution. Choosing the perfect battlefield is key. Use 100 scouts as bait. Their fast horses will outrun them. They won't be caught so easily. Luring them deep into the woods, where our hidden infantry will strike. Luring the rest to the hill, form an unbreakable iron shield wall, surrounding them from every single side. Force them to surrender or die. Aaron loved this perfect battle plan. He decided to move at once. Following Old Long's strategic masterstroke, the grand battle plan was set. Merely slaying the orcs wasn't enough. Aaron intended to bind them all. His territory hungered for rapid growth, demanding a massive, forced labor force. Chero moved to the forest's edge, setting a deadly trap while Romeo formed a phalanx with heavy shields. High above, Old Long watched everything, awaiting Aaron's final signal to strike. With orders given, Aaron unsheathed steel, leading 500 men into hell. Charge! Butcher every single green-skinned monster. Break anyone who dares stand before us. Deep within the foul orc lair, the chieftain feasted on stolen meat, until a scout shrieked of invasion. Human soldiers were breaching the woods. The beast roared in absolute fury. Usually, orcs were the supreme hunters. These weak humans finally showed teeth. Infuriated, the monster demanded a massacre, summoning the entire bloodthirsty horde together. Ready to clash with human steel, the chieftain grinned with arrogant pride. 2,000 savage warriors stood ready, backed by a monstrous, axe-wielding minotaur. With such overwhelming, crushing power, he swore to end this quickly. The green tide surged forward blindly. Yet, the monsters were walking into a destiny they couldn't possibly foresee. Above, a pair of mystical eyes tracked their every single murderous step. This was Old Long's tracking sorcery. Through the vision of a bird, the enemy's formation was laid bare. Aaron spearheaded the daring frontal assault, galloping straight into the killing fields. Across the vast and endless plains, with only 100 elite riders, he charged 2,000 screaming orcs. Aaron carved a path of devastation, moving like a literal god of war. Blade flashing, Aaron carves through orcs like trash. Suddenly, a heavy axe swings toward his head. Pure instinct saves him. A towering minotaur appears, its roar shaking the very souls of everyone. The deafening cry paralyzes the men. Aaron lures the horde, then orders a tactical retreat immediately. He snags a triple kill before leaving. The squad pulls a U-turn and vanishes from the field. The orcs won't let this slide. Led by the frenzied minotaur, the horde charges with murderous intent. It outruns horses. Aaron halts. "Go ahead. I will handle this savage beast by myself." The monster corners the rear guard. Just as its fists descend to crush a soldier's skull, Aaron thunders in. His blade strikes the beast's jaw with the force of a falling star. The minotaur spins 200 times mid-air. It hits the dirt, completely silenced and broken. "Bind him," Aaron commands. "He is only unconscious. This beast will serve a purpose later." They tie him like a sack of grain. Suddenly, a soldier points. The orc horde has arrived. They are fuming over Aaron's hit-and-run tactics. But before they strike, the heavens suddenly open up. Massive fireballs rain from the sky. The orc army is instantly reduced to charred, bloody remains. The orc boss is livid. Refusing to back down, he leads the survivors in a final chase, but a blinding wall of steel awaits them. A shield formation as unyielding as a mountain. An unbreakable wall of pure iron. Sensing defeat, the monsters tried fleeing, but escape was already far gone. Shield bearers had blocked every single path. Then, Aaron emerged from the shadows. Approaching the beast, he spoke calmly. "Obey me and you shall live. Resist and face my divine wrath." But orcs never trust human words. They snarled, ready for one last stand. Aaron challenged their leader to a duel. A duel. Loser becomes a slave. Confident in his strength, the orc agreed. The beast hungered for human blood. They stepped into the makeshift arena. Soldiers and monsters formed the ring. The duel began with a roar. The beast swung its massive club, aiming to crush Aaron's very soul. But the prince's power was legendary. He moved like a ghost, untouchable. Every swing hit nothing but air. He couldn't even graze Aaron's cloak. Enraged, the orc spat out insults. "Coward! Is running all you know?" Aaron's gaze turned cold and sharp. It was time for a lesson. He dropped his blade. Bare fists. His captain watched in pure terror. Such reckless confidence was truly terrifying. "Relax. My fists are enough." Surprisingly, the beast showed some honor. He tossed his heavy club aside. A primal battle of raw strength. Man versus monster. Bone versus steel. Who would dominate this brutal clash? Orcs possess godlike physical power. Their claws are sharper than swords, harder than the finest tempered steel. The beast launched a lightning strike. Aaron dodged, but he was slow. Blood trickled down his royal face. He had underestimated their savage speed. The monster roared in savage triumph. Today, the prince would fall. The boss screams for revenge, but Aaron just scoffs. "Quiet. I haven't even gotten serious yet." In a blink, Aaron vanishes. He reappears above the boss, delivering a strike that shatters the earth. "Still want to talk big? Try barking now." A single slap leaves the monster's head ringing. It tries to stand, but Aaron is already there. Another devastating slap echoes across the plains. The boss spins 500 times. The soldiers treat the falling monster like a damn volleyball. They pass him to Aaron, who's been waiting. A flurry of strikes leaves the boss's world spinning. Total annihilation. Aaron stands victorious as the orc subjugation quest is officially cleared with ease. That night, Aaron displays the beaten boss on the wall. The beast's arrogance is finally broken. With a face reorganized by fists, the boss submits. From today, you are all my slaves. Hunt the wilds and serve me. Do your jobs, and you might actually get fed. The orcs just stare blankly. Fed up, Aaron grabs the boss by his mangled hair. Obey, or suffer like your leader. Now the orcs tremble. They finally understand who's in charge. The prince doesn't play nice twice. The expedition returns home, heralded by the songs of victory. The city erupts in cheers. 500 men crush 2,000 orcs under their lord's command. The monsters are now unpaid laborers. To Aaron, this isn't exploitation, it is high-level dungeon capitalism. The boss is fully tamed. Aaron reflects in his past life. The duke's kindness led to ruin. The previous duke chose peace, but the emperor chose fire. The Brand territory was once erased, but the emperor faces a different man now. Aaron is a storm that strikes without mercy. Afternoon comes, and the annual council begins. The air in the war room is thick with ambition. Aaron credits the victory to Old Man Long. But Chero's face is a mask of pure indignation. What about me? I am the one who turned those orcs into toasted marshmallows, she fumes. Aaron sighs. Your stray fireballs incinerated my potential laborers. You are lucky I don't charge you. Territory has expanded 5 times over. Now, it's time to transform this land into a massive dungeon. Show them the plan. Long. The blueprint for their grand expansion project is finally revealed. The complicated paperwork makes heads spin. But the old man's eyes are glowing with gold. Excellent work, Aaron says. But we must make these players absolute slaves to our system, lure them with profit, then trap them forever. The aide tries to protect the duke's honor. My lord, what about the prestige of the ducal house? This seems a bit much. Aaron waves it off. Honor won't fill the treasury. I am more afraid of being broke. The duke truly is one of a kind. The man and dragon begin their ultimate scheme. While surveying his desolate lands, Aaron's mind blazed with schemes to fill his empty treasury. Suddenly, he spotted mysterious priests healing the poor. They worshipped Vivian, a forgotten goddess from legends. Their faith had been outlawed for years. By royal decree, preaching and healing here was strictly forbidden. But Aaron wasn't a typical prince. He gave them sanctuary, seeing a golden opportunity in their magic. You've saved my people, he declared. I have no reason to exile such kind souls. Stay. Beneath his gentle words lay cold calculation. Aaron wanted these divine healers for his growing army. Inside the strategy room, Cecilia, the head priestess, suddenly lunged forward and pulled him into a hug. Aaron had promised to restore her goddess's temple. Cecilia wept with joy, but the butler's face turned purple. The bald steward screamed in protest. Building a cathedral would bankrupt their already starving territory completely. Use the emergency war chest, Aaron commanded coldly. The steward gasped. That money was for a total collapse. Our poverty is a catastrophe, Aaron snapped. Empty the vault. Do not make me repeat myself twice. Despite his fear, the steward bowed to the prince's terrifying aura. Aaron then turned toward Cecilia. I don't offer charity, he whispered. In exchange for this temple, you must produce holy water. I have heard temples can distill liquid miracles. Use that power to transform this territory's future. Without a moment's hesitation, Cecilia agreed. Aaron's trap was set. Then came the most brutal condition. You will produce it for free. Unlimited amounts. On my command. She smiled, blinded by her devotion. A week later, reports arrived. Orc scouts had discovered a hidden, forgotten dungeon buried near the fortress. Kurok, the lead orc, called it a useless trash pit. It was unrecorded in history, ownerless and rotting. Since its master vanished, it had become a chaotic den for the world's most disgusting monsters. While the steward worried, Aaron's eyes gleamed with greed. He saw a gold mine where others saw death. We'll lure the world's adventurers here, Aaron chuckled. We'll leak rumors about a hidden, miraculous panacea. The steward was confused. But my lord, we don't have a legendary medicine like that. Aaron's smirk widened. Follow me. He led his baffled subordinates straight to the bustling town square. Suddenly, a blinding, divine radiance erupted from the center of the crowd, stinging the steward's eyes. What is this power? The steward cried. A colossal surge of holy mana was vibrating through the air. Such a divine phenomenon was impossible in a god-forsaken wasteland. But there she stood, glowing with light. Behind Cecilia, the steward saw the shimmering silhouette of a goddess. Only the truly gifted could sense it. Cecilia charged at Aaron for another hug, but he sidestepped expertly, letting her faceplant into the dirt. "Progress report," Aaron demanded, ignoring her pouting. "Is the production line ready? Are there any issues?" "We're halfway done," she chirped. "Do you want to see a miracle? I can make it right now." She knelt before the statue of Vivian, clasping her hands. "Goddess, grant your servant a drop of life." Pure holy water manifested out of thin air. The steward realized Cecilia was a literal goddess vessel. Aaron handed a vial to the bald butler. "Drink up, old man. Tell me if the product is viable." The steward scoffed. Unless it was the Empire's finest elixir, it wouldn't move him. But he took a sip. His eyes nearly popped out. He drained the cup, feeling a refreshing explosion of pure, divine energy. "I feel 5 years younger," he shouted, suddenly performing a perfect backflip. The effects were beyond legendary. Since Aaron funded her dream, Cecilia had become obsessed with him, clinging to his side like glue. "I have a surprise," she beamed. "The captain of the Holy Knights is finally here to meet you." These weren't mere soldiers. The Knights of Vivian were legendary shields capable of neutralizing any deadly strike. By coating their bodies in divine mana, they became living fortresses with defense stats that broke all logic. They were once a kingdom's greatest pride, but now, only one single knight remained in the world. As Aaron asked when this knight would arrive, a thunderous roar echoed from the shadows behind him. "Take your filthy hands off the saintess, you red-haired devil. You aren't worthy to even breathe near her." The final holy knight, Bianca, had arrived. She was a fierce warrior summoned by Cecilia's personal request. But as Bianca surveyed the muddy, broken streets of Aaron's territory, her face twisted in pure disgust. Bianca, the arrogant saintess of Vivian, only bows to the strong. When Aaron proposed a wager, she couldn't refuse. The loser takes 3 punishing strikes. Thinking Aaron was just a cocky brat, Bianca accepted the challenge instantly. Aaron's lips curled into a wicked smirk. Before the entire garrison, this lopsided duel was set to begin. Aaron didn't even draw steel, choosing a fallen branch instead. Insulted by his mockery, Bianca's fury exploded. "Goddess Vivian, grant me strength." A divine radiance erupted from her body as she prepared to crush him. The battle roared. Bianca charged like a relentless gale, her heavy shield aimed straight for Aaron's head. With a mere twig, Aaron parried the divine strike effortlessly. The impact was so great, her shield cracked. His branch remained flawless as he struck again, shattering the saintess's legendary shield into useless wooden splinters. Victory was absolute. Aaron stepped forward, reminding the trembling Bianca of the price for her overconfidence. "Remember our bet?" 3 hits. He delivered 3 sharp lashes to her backside with that very branch. Aaron warned her never to act up again, but he didn't expect a twisted reaction from the saintess. The harder he struck, the more she enjoyed it. Were all Vivian Church members secret masochists? Pushing that aside, Aaron gathered his troops. Their destination, the dangerous and long-forgotten abandoned dungeon. With only 100 soldiers available, his forces were thin. The security of his territory hung by a thread. Bran held only 5,000 souls. To build his empire, Aaron desperately needed to expand his population quickly. Recalling his past life, he knew a wave of migrants was coming. This was his chance to recruit them. Marching forward, the army reached the fortress dungeon, currently guarded by his loyal and fierce orc tribe. Aaron sensed trouble. The orc leader approached with a pale face, filled with an unusual sense of dread. His scouts had entered the dungeon and collapsed into a deep, unnatural slumber they could not wake from. But as Aaron arrived, the fallen orcs rose. They weren't comrades anymore, they were twitching, mindless, undead monsters. With bared fangs, the zombies lunged at their former masters, the air filled with their sudden, feral snarls. The orc leader's club swung in a blur, smashing one zombie back and knocking the entire group senseless. Suddenly, a chilling shadow loomed. The old dragon warned them to be careful. A true demon had appeared. A high-tier demon streaked toward them. The orc leader struck, but his physical blow passed through thin air. Aaron's sword clashed against the demon's claws. Screeching, the creature fractured into dozens of smaller, haunting spirits. Seeing an opening, Chero unleashed scorching flames. These spectral parasites loathed the touch of pure magic. As the spirits shrieked in the inferno, 𝒌𝒊𝒏𝒄𝒆 shouted for everyone to stop moving and stay focused. She cast an enchantment, coating their weapons in blazing fire. Their blades were now transformed into demon-slaying tools. It was a massive power boost except for the orc leader. His wooden club caught fire instantly, burning bright. Forced to fight barehanded, the giant orc growled. This mage's help was becoming a total disaster. With 𝒌𝒊𝒏𝒄𝒆's magic, the spirits were purged. The old dragons sensed they were guarding something very important. Deep within the ruins, 𝒌𝒊𝒏𝒄𝒆 discovered a dusty tome titled The Ancient Legacy of the Demon Empire. It detailed forbidden rituals performed by ancient monks, seeking a power different from any traditional wizardry. They called it mental power. If mana was water, this technique allowed one to forge a larger bowl. This meant even commoners could wield mana through mental training. A true revolution for Aaron's growing kingdom. However, the old dragon warned him to keep this secret. Such power would attract greedy and bloodthirsty kings. The dungeon walls were stained with blood. It seemed the price for this training was madness and slaughter. Reaching the third basement, they discovered a hidden chamber overflowing with shimmering gold and priceless treasures. The old dragon asked to use the hoard. He wanted to renovate the dungeon for future brave adventurers. He needed a budget to add traps and challenges, ensuring every reward felt truly earned and deserved. Aaron gave him full control. Soon, the fierce orc warriors were traded for construction tools and blueprints. Aaron loved the idea and granted the old dragon absolute authority over the dungeon's transformation. From then on, the orc warriors became construction workers, remodeling the fortress into a deadly labyrinth. Ancient souls, rise. With the foundation set, the old dragon summoned the legendary spirits of the past. Finally, the essential reward appeared. The legendary holy water. Legend says a single sip grants another year of life. Driven by pure, unadulterated greed, the masses went mad. The once abandoned dungeon, now rebranded, officially opened for its deadly business. Brand's emergence sparked an unprecedented boom, turning a desolate wasteland into a bustling hub for mercenaries. These warriors expected a starving village, yet Aaron's total transformation of the land left them speechless. With coffers overflowing, Aaron erected grand taverns where blood-soaked gold could buy a moment's respite. A mysterious traveler offered a gold coin for secrets, and the barkeep whispered of the fountain of life. "You are the first to dare," he muttered, revealing the path to immortality hidden within the abyss. Satisfied, the traveler vanished. Meanwhile, deep within the castle, Aaron delved into his own inner soul. The prince struggled to tame the dragon's blessing, a primordial power burning fiercely within his royal veins. One slip meant madness. Yet Aaron craved total mastery over this hidden power to reclaim his throne. Suddenly, Celia appeared like a ghost. She had baked a cake to thank him for the temple. After a brief moment of peace, the first wave of hunters charged toward the gates of destiny. Aaron dubbed it the Tomb of Atun, a place where glory and gold met a very steep price. A massive sign stood guard. 10 gold coins just to step foot inside. Pay up or stay. Permits were issued with cold efficiency. As the first member crossed, the trap of greed was set. "Hold it," the guard barked. That small fortune was the price for one soul, not the group. It was highway robbery enough to feed a family for months, but the lure of power was too strong. "The elixir won't wait forever," the guard teased. "Pay now, or lose your shot at immortality." Compared to living forever, 10 gold was a pittance. The adventurers threw down their coins and descended. Inside, the upsell continued. "Holy water?" they were asked. "No thanks. We brought our own," they scoffed. "Mine is high-grade divinity," the seller insisted. Soon, their pouches grew lighter as they bought more. "Magic gear? Don't stop now," the leader snapped. "If it keeps us alive, I will buy it all." But there was one final catch. 100 gold for a Lord Aaron, certified emergency escape device. This artifact was a literal lifesaver, forged by the prince himself for those facing certain death. Use it and live, or return it and get your money back. A perfect trap for the desperate. Aaron was bleeding them dry before the hunt even began. This prince truly knew the art of profit. They entered the subterranean labyrinth, carving through low-level fodder with deceptive, easy strikes. But as the shadows deepened, the monsters grew fiercer. Their expensive gear was the only protection remaining. Reaching the final floor, the air turned frigid. Vengeful spirits emerged from the darkness, hissing with malice. An adventurer hurled his holy water, expecting an explosion. Instead, the spirits just kept coming forward. These weren't ghosts, they were physical nightmares swinging heavy clubs. The logic of the dungeon was breaking. Outnumbered and outmatched, the brave adventurers turned tail and fled for their lives from the horde. But the spirits stopped. Removing their masks, a squad of orcs laughed. Aaron's elite actors had succeeded. Deep in the dark, the party's mage summoned a brilliant light to pierce the suffocating, heavy gloom. They were trapped in a death maze. One wrong turn meant wandering these halls until their bones crumbled. Arrows suddenly rained down. The tank slammed his shield down, steel clashing against unseen, flying wood. The orc pursuers had arrived, their eyes burning with bloodlust. The leader's courage shattered instantly. Fall back! A desperate game of cat and mouse began through the winding, infinite corridors of the deadly tomb. They hit a dead end, 2 paths. With the orcs breathing down their necks, they panicked and froze. "Right! Go right!" the leader screamed, ordering the mage to seal the path behind them immediately. A massive wall of ice erupted, blocking the pursuit. For a moment, they thought they had escaped. Arrows pierced their heels. 4 skeletal archers stood waiting, their bony fingers already notched for more kills. The mage desperately channeled holy light, turning the undead to ash in a blinding flash of divinity. But then, the clumsy blonde warrior stepped on a hidden pressure plate. A true burden to the team. A roaring torrent of water swept them away. When it receded, they were soaked, but miraculously alive. A stroke of luck amidst disaster. Despite his brain-dead teammates almost drowning the squad, the raging flood swept them into a hidden treasure vault. The mage rejoiced, but her joy soon turned to absolute terror. A monstrous guardian stood in their path. The treasure room was protected by the minotaur Aaron had captured. Its blood-red eyes radiated lethal intent, freezing them in fear. Suddenly, a device fell from the glasses guy. It was an emergency safety tool. By pressing 3 gems, one could escape, but it cost 100 gold. As the minotaur charged with primal fury, the man hesitated. But life is worth more than any gold. He smashed the device just as the axe swung. Suddenly, 3 elite soldiers materialized to drive the beast back. They struck the monster's horns until it fled in tears. Unbeknownst to them, this rescue was Aaron's staged drama. The long-haired soldier asked if they were okay. The adventurer snapped, "I'm soaked. Does this look okay to you?" They secured the elixir of life, never dreaming the monsters and soldiers were all working for Duke Aaron. Emerging from the dungeon, they felt reborn. But then, 3 salesgirls approached with a shady healing offer. Need treatment? Only 300 gold. With 50% monthly interest, it was a total debt trap. Defaulting meant becoming Duke Aaron's property for 10 years. With his teammates groaning, the leader had to sign. Another group of recruits was tricked into Aaron's army. His coffers overflowed with gold from these clever schemes. Within days, Aaron amassed a fortune and loyal subordinates. His advisor's hands grew sore from counting all the gold. Aaron decided to build a second dungeon to increase profits. As wealth grew, his citizens' lives improved significantly. The village was complete, but labor was scarce. His monster slaves were too terrifying to work among the humans. A messenger pigeon arrived with news of war. Counts Ammon and Gray were fighting over a hidden gold mine. Aaron saw his chance to recruit more labor. A gold mine had been discovered right on their shared border. Ever the man of peace, Aaron decided to seize the gold himself to stop the war from escalating. Legally, the mine sat on his territory. His aide feared the emperor, but Aaron knew his reasons were solid. The advisor praised Aaron's mercy. By taking the gold, he would prevent the 2 lords from killing each other. As the counts prepared for battle, Aaron's army marched. Inside a command tent, the 2 nobles argued fiercely. Both were greedy for the mine. But news arrived, Duke Aaron had landed. They were forced to bow in respect. Aaron outranked them both and declared the land his. By imperial law, the gold mine was now his property. "You 2 have no share here. Get lost." Blades were drawn as 3 armies prepared for a bloody confrontation. To settle the tension, a mediator proposed a duel. Each side would send 1,000 soldiers to fight. The winner would claim the mine. But Aaron upped the stakes, offering to fight both armies at once. His 1,000 elite against their 2,000 men. If he won, they must surrender their citizens to him. The counts hesitated, then retreated to plot. This seemed like an easy victory for their combined forces. They agreed to cooperate, defeat Aaron, and split the gold. They had no idea it was all a trap. The gold mine was a lie fabricated by Aaron from the start. His true target was their villages. The challenge was accepted. If Aaron lost, he would surrender his territory. The contract was officially drafted. It required the king's own signature as witness. Everything was unfolding exactly as the Duke had carefully planned. Back in the forest, the counts bickered over the spoils. Their greed blinded them to Aaron's deadly scheme. Because a duke's rank is absolute, they knelt in submission. Aaron's presence alone was an overwhelming force. "This gold belongs to me by imperial decree." He left the two nobles with no room for negotiation. The three armies stood on the brink of war. Steel clashed as they prepared for a legendary duel. Old Long stepped in to mediate the crisis. He suggested a 1,000-man battle to decide the mine's owner, but Aaron's confidence was unshakable. He challenged both armies simultaneously. A true king's wager for total domination. 1,000 against 2,000. The prize? The very souls of their people. The counts began to conspire. They agreed to team up and share the gold after crushing Aaron. Their arrogance was their ultimate undoing. The mine was merely a phantom, a rumor born of Aaron's genius. He was hunting more than just gold. They accepted his terms, signing the binding contract. Everything was moving toward Aaron's final, absolute victory. The stage was set for the king's witness. However, a new challenge was about to emerge from the shadows. The crisis begins. Even with a full draft, our forces barely reach 500 men. Aaron needs 1,000 soldiers before the war. On his return, a mysterious girl appears. She is blocked at the gates, a beautiful elf. Seeking the Lord, her eyes meet Aaron's. Desperately, she begs for aid. Her name is Kaisa, daughter of the great elf patriarch. Aaron is skeptical. Why should he help those who once slaughtered his own people? The elves of the north are isolated. They shun all races, especially humans, for peace. But their peace is forged in blood. Any trespasser in their woods is met with death. Kaisa reveals a nightmare, an army of skeletons. In exchange for help, she offers sanctuary. Aaron accepts with a cold price. The entire elf tribe must become his subjects. Kaisa hesitates, but as Aaron turns his horse, she has no choice but to agree. The truth is darker. It wasn't just skeletons, but a legendary death knight leading them. Time is short. Aaron orders a full mobilization within 3 hours. Deep in the dark forest, a massive tide of bones hammers against the elven walls. The elves fight back with ancient fury. Yet the skeletal army seems endless and unstoppable. Born with mana in their veins, the elven mages cast a devastating celestial net. The sky turns to ice. Frozen shards rain down, crushing the undead beneath. Then comes the magic of the woods. Thorns and vines erupt from the earth to entangle. Finally, a storm of fire turns the horde to ash. But the numbers are too overwhelming. Led by the Death Knight, they surge like a black tide. Suddenly, rain begins to fall. This is no ordinary storm. It is holy water, melting the bones of the damned. Aaron's reinforcements have arrived. He leads the cavalry like a god of war. His horse tramples the dead. The Death Knight roars, using dark magic to resurrect them. But Bianca's divine light is absolute. Her holy aura purges the darkness instantly. Captain Romeo spots the target. He charges toward the Death Knight through the chaos. Weakened by holy water, the knight falls. Romeo claims its head with one strike. With their leader slain, the skeletons falter. The soldiers seize the moment to strike. The monster army crumbles. Without a commander, they are nothing but brittle bone. But the elder dragon warns of a shadow. A necromancer is the true puppet master. Cecilia senses the dark presence. Perched upon a nearby peak, the master lurks. It is a spiteful girl, fuming with rage. Her precious army was destroyed in seconds. "Do you know how hard it is to raise the dead?" She screams into the wind. Suddenly, a cold shadow falls over her. Aaron has appeared behind her like a ghost. She realizes he is the one who ruined everything. She fires a dark energy blast. Aaron simply slices the spell in two. His blade pierces deep into her chest. "I give you 2 choices. Die now, or become my eternal slave." Sensing his inhuman power, she trembles. To save her life, she swears an oath. The contract is sealed. Elena is now his. The remaining skeletons retreat into shadow. As the sun rises, victory is ours. The soldiers cheer under the morning light. Aaron returns with his new servant. He tells the men the necromancer escaped. He claims Elena was a captive hostage, but Cecilia senses the demonic filth within. She moves to purify the girl. Aaron stops her, promising an explanation later. As the Duke of Bran, his word is law. The elf patriarch approaches to give thanks. "Our tribe owes you its life," the elder says. Aaron only points to the contract. The elves turn pale as they read. Their princess has signed away their entire freedom. But elves live by their honor. They are now bound to the King of Bran. True to his word, the elf chief finally swore eternal loyalty to Aaron. 1,500 elves became citizens. Aaron then delivered a grave choice of fate. He asked which news she wanted first. The good news was simple. Aaron would provide full rations for 1,000 elves every single month. The bad news? 500 warriors must join his army within 1 week. At the palace, the emperor heard of counts feuding over a gold mine. He ignored their barking at first, thinking it was just noble posturing. But hearing Aaron's name made his eyes turn cold and lethal. "My nephew, what are you plotting?" He legalized the territorial slaughter. The emperor summoned his council to discuss the upcoming battle in Bran. The advisor laughed. The alliance was rich, fielding 2,000 elite troops. Aaron was just a lord of dust leading 1,000 peasants. To ensure defeat, 30 mercenary mages were sent to join the alliance. The emperor was satisfied. He couldn't let the abandoned prince grow strong. Unbeknownst to them, Chero was already scouting the empire's shimmering capital. While shopping, she felt shadows creeping behind her in the streets. She lured the rats into a dead-end alley for a lethal lesson. They fell for it, only to be consumed by her devastating fireball. After a brutal interrogation, she forced them to reveal the secret casino. An ancient castle on the hill hid a world of decadent gambling. Aristocrats were wagering fortunes on the war between Aaron and the counts. As everyone bet against him, Chero wagered 3 million gold on Aaron. The room froze. The manager scoffed, demanding cold, hard cash. Chero produced a check from the Moria Guild, the Empire's greatest merchants. With the bet placed, she used space magic to warp back home. It was Aaron's plan. He mortgaged his land for this one gamble. If he won, his profits would be beyond anyone's wildest imagination. The bald advisor was terrified when he realized the gold was a lie. "You're a madman," he cried, seeing their future risked on a debt. Then, Aaron swung his blade, cleaving a mountain with hidden, godlike power. The advisor's doubt vanished. He pledged his very life to Aaron's cause. Soon, the Morka Guild's carriage entered Bran. The leader, Grim, stepped out. Grim expected to claim the territory once the doomed prince fell. Known as Blood Money, his family thrived on land grabbing for generations. 30 years ago, Aaron's father banned their trade, ruining the family. Through sheer cruelty, Grim rebuilt his empire using high-interest blood loans. He became a guild leader and agreed to lend to the prince. He wanted to crush the son of his enemy under debt's weight. Despite his hatred, Grim greeted the Duke with a fake, slimy smile. He was a predator hiding his fangs behind a mask of greed. Aaron played the part, asking for 2 million gold in additional funds. Grim hesitated, but Aaron claimed it was for urgent territory development. Win or lose, the merchant believed he would own the land forever. The advisor begged Aaron to stop, acting out his despair perfectly. It was a flawless act. Seeing the advisor's panic, Grim's greed exploded. Lending Aaron 2 million more at that interest rate? These two are acting like Oscar winners while Green remains clueless. He laughs, thinking he struck gold. Little does he know, the hunter is about to become the prey very soon. "Splendid acting," I remarked. But this wasn't just a performance. It was the result of years of cold, hard survival. 20 days remain until the clash with the Count Alliance. Yet, our elven archers' combat power is still nowhere near ready. At this rate, the enemy cavalry will trample them into the dust before they can even loose a single arrow. I grilled the bald man. Was he embezzling the food budget or serving overpriced scraps to our elite troops? He claimed a master chef was hired, but only Old Long saw the truth. Our lethal range was simply not enough. A mere 100 meters? On these open plains, we need to strike from double that distance to dominate the field. To win, we must master the battlefield and minimize every variable. Losing control means our forces will face heavy casualties. We can't guarantee a heart shot every time, but we can eliminate the distance variable by upgrading our primitive weaponry. We require legendary materials and master smiths. But time is a luxury we lack with only 3 weeks left. 3 weeks? Too slow. Long requested just 3 days to find master smiths that were not even of the human race. Aaron was puzzled. Non-human smiths? Who could they be? Only one race holds the title of legendary masters of the forge. The greatest blacksmiths on the continent are the dwarves. That night, Long revealed his true, draconic form and took flight. He soared into the frozen north, descending upon a hidden mountain peak within the snowy Ban territory. 3 dwarves knelt in reverence. "Welcome back, master." Among them was a young, sharp-eyed dwarf girl named Kessie. "Climb on," Long commanded Kessie. They took to the skies to hunt for the ultimate crafting ingredients for the new bows. Within 10 minutes of high-speed flight, they reached the Minotaur's labyrinth, ready for a swift and bloody harvest. Long's dragon breath turned the beasts into roasted statues instantly. The raw materials for our victory were finally secured. He returned with a cart of buffalo horns. Aaron knew better, those were clearly the massive horns of monstrous minotaurs. Long spun a tale of foreign merchants, but the secret was out. Aaron then noticed the dwarf girl on the cart. Long told Kessie to greet the Duke, but she was defiant, questioning if Aaron was even a real noble. How dare she speak so rudely? Long quickly dragged her away to teach her a lesson using physical education methods. Aaron didn't care about her attitude, only her skill. He knelt before her, shocking everyone with his humble resolve. "I am Duke Aaron. Please, Lady Kessie, help me save this land." Surprised by his sincerity, she finally accepted. With full authority over the forge, Kessie began producing the modified bows. But her perfectionism sparked constant fires. Clashes between the hot-headed dwarf and the human smiths were frequent. Aaron spent his days acting as the royal mediator. 3 days before the duel, the final shipment of bows was ready. My men had worked themselves to the bone. For the blacksmiths, it was a race against a deadly deadline. But Long felt something was still missing from the plan. Elven bows alone couldn't stop an army twice our size. While deep in thought, Long suddenly slipped and fell hard. His head spun, and a flash of genius struck. The missing factor was mud. He rushed to wake Kessie immediately. "Grab your tools. We're heading to the battlefield." 3 days later, the moment of final reckoning had finally arrived. 2,000 coalition troops gathered. In their camp, the arrogant counts drank and gambled, betting 500,000 gold. They laughed at Aaron's measly 1,000 troops. To them, the young duke was just a lamb for the slaughter. But then, Aaron appeared. Not just with men, but with massive, towering structures that loomed over the entire field. The counts mocked the wooden huts, calling them stationary targets. They had no idea their nightmare was beginning. The emperor's messenger arrived to confirm the stakes. If Aaron won, he would claim the titles of both counts. If the counts won, Aaron would lose everything. The stage was set for a legendary royal domination. Sharpen your steel. 3 days remain until the final showdown against the 2,000-strong alliance army. As the counts assemble, 2 arrogant nobles feast inside their tent, laughing at the slaughter to come. Betting 500,000 gold on victory, they mock Aaron's small force. Can 1,000 men survive? Aaron's legion finally appears. But he hasn't just brought soldiers. Massive, mysterious towers now loom over the battlefield. The counts sneer at the stationary targets. Little do they know, the emperor's envoy has already arrived. The long-haired messenger demands order, asking if both sides are truly prepared to stake their very lives. Victory means Aaron seizes both their thrones, but defeat means his legendary revenge ends in the dirt. Seize the gold mine and break free from Aaron's shadow. No more talk. To your positions. The slaughter begins now. Watch your necks, Aaron warns. They only laugh in ignorance. The duel ignites. Elven archers draw their bows in unison. Arrows fall short. The bald count sneers at the weakness. 5,000 gold if you win before my tea cools. Blighted by greed, the commander orders shields dropped for speed. 1,000 riders charge. The very earth begins to tremble. Captain Romeo smirks. Let them run into their own graves. The decoys are discarded. The real elven weaponry is revealed. Fire. A lethal swarm of steel blots out the sun. The trap snaps shut. Retreat is now a death sentence. Arrows rain down like judgment. The enemy scatters in terror. Romeo signals. Watchtowers transform into an impenetrable iron fortress. Mud pits erupt. War horses stumble as the terrain turns treacherous. Old Dragon's earth magic has turned the field into hell. Massive iron nets launch, trapping the vanguard like helpless fish. Panic screams. They are now immobile targets for the archers. The Gold Count scoffs at his allies' pathetic failure. 1,000 more troops are deployed to salvage the wreckage. Predictable. Aaron unleashes the holy light of Bianca's unit. Like a divine blade, they carve through the enemy's heart. Morale explodes. The battlefield belongs to the Duke's forces. Romeo's cavalry strikes like a whirlwind of cold death. No one survives their path. The ground turns deep red. Desperate, the counts play their ace. Imperial mercenary mages, 30 mages chant. A magical wall halts the momentum. Romeo is cornered. 2 knights fall into the deadly trap. Aaron moves. Infantry, advance. I will save Romeo personally. Old dragon, crush those mages. Reveal your hidden fangs. Loyalty over secrecy. Aaron's power will no longer hide. A sister's illusion remains. The real Aaron vanishes like smoke. Stripped of heavy armor, he infiltrates like a silent ghost. Catapults roar. Massive boulders soar toward the enemy line. Out of range, Old Dragon buffs the stones with mana. A meteor strike. The mage formation is absolutely pulverized. Survivors counter with water spheres. The air grows heavy. The assault stalls, but Old Dragon only smirks wider. Just the warm-up. Archers, unleash the soul-burning fire arrows. Shoot for the heavens. I will guide them to hell. The volley soars high. Gravity reverse. The arrows dive. Physics-defying trajectories. Every arrow finds a magical heart. Cheater! They scream. But death waits for no one. Mages obliterated. The terrified counts are left defenseless now. Bianca arrives like a storm. The final cleanup begins. Bianca charges like a gale. No one can stop her. Yet, the enemy tide is endless. Surrounded by a forest of spears, she retreats. Bianca cries out to Goddess Vivian for aid. A holy radiance explodes from her shield. The blinding light leaves the enemy completely defenseless. From the shadows, Aaron strikes. The enemy commander is distracted. His fatal opening is revealed. One swift thrust from behind. The first soul is claimed. The hunt has officially begun. Aaron moves like a ghost. He targets the elite officers. His divine footwork defies all logic. 2 more leaders fall. He strikes their blind spots with terrifying precision. A double kill. Your captain is dead, Aaron roars. Panic spreads like wildfire. Their morale shatters instantly, but a hidden officer rallies the troops. The enemy regroups. They tighten the noose around Jameo. Jameo is trapped in a death zone. Aaron must act now or lose his comrade forever. The ultimate gamble begins. Aaron stalks the final officer. He waits for one perfect heartbeat. He lunges from the dark, but 3 blades intercept his strike. It was a trap. The officer used himself as bait. 3 elite guards emerge to crush the lone assassin. They underestimated a monster. Aaron carves through them easily. 3 souls are sent to hell. The officer's head falls next. Meanwhile, Bianca's iron cavalry finally smashes through to Jameo. Victory is sealed. Aaron vanishes into the mist. The mysterious catapults finish the total slaughter. 2,000 allied soldiers lie defeated. Against all odds, the victory belongs to Count Aaron. Look at your pathetic faces. Aaron sneers at the counts. I warned you to be careful. The bald count trembles with rage. What demonic sorcery is this? He reaches for his steel. A cold blade meets his throat. Only the Emperor's envoy prevents an immediate execution. Their lands are now Aaron's prize. These arrogant nobles are left with absolutely nothing. The territory expands rapidly. Aaron also collects a massive fortune from his winning bets. While others dream of luxury, Aaron invests. Every coin is poured into his secret projects. His population has doubled overnight. This war provided the human capital for a new empire. I must balance these lands. I will play the role of the northern loser. His men are baffled by his words. Aaron's eyes burn with a hidden, royal ambition. The Emperor is a hawk. If we show claws, he will strike. We must act weak. Let Bran grow in the shadows. When we emerge, we shall devour the entire world. The Guildmaster arrives with a demand. 5 million gold. That is the price of victory. We are penniless, the old man lies. The Guildmaster demands his payment immediately. The contract is clear. Count Aaron must pay 5 million gold pieces right now. No interest and no deadline? How dare you threaten the master of this land? Aaron draws his sword with lethal intent. You will pay for your insolence, greedy fox. He drives the blade into the stone. Swear your life to me right here, right now. Become my loyal shadow. Give your soul to the prosperity of Bran forever. The new territory is secured, but a vast kingdom means a mountain of daily work. Jaimio bursts in with urgent news. A violent protest is erupting in the conquered lands. The former counts are behind this. Aaron smiles coldly. Let's play their little game. A messenger delivers a shock to the rebels. It is a formal declaration of war. Is he mad? The counts laugh. His forces are half the size of ours. This is suicide, his advisor warns. Attacking now is a reckless, foolish move. Aaron's gaze is piercing. That is exactly what I want the Emperor to believe. While they think I'm a fool, we grow invincible. Your vision is truly legendary. Rest now, my friend. You have done enough. This battle requires no strategy. The Emperor's eyes cannot see in the dark. Tonight, I will hunt them myself. That night, Aaron led his legions to Amon Castle, the stronghold of the greedy bald count. I know you orchestrated the riots. Surrender now and I might just spare your life. If you're so confident, try breaking in. The count sneered. Aaron signaled his sister, Chero. Chero unleashed meteor strike, but a transparent barrier shimmered, blocking her devastating flames instantly. Imperial mages created a magic seal. The count laughed, but Chero's eyes burned with fury. She slammed her staff down. A surge of mystical blue water flooded the entire battlefield. The water dissolved the barrier like paper. Then, colossal earthworms erupted from the ground. The walls crumbled. Terror gripped the count as Aaron's army charged into the chaos. "Fire arrows!" the count screamed. Too late. Aaron's soldiers were already breaching the gates. Chaos reigned. One terrified soldier fumbled his bow, unable to even notch an arrow. The count exploded in rage, venting on the soldier. "Listen, trash. Fail me, and you die." While the count cursed his men, Aaron scaled the ramparts like a ghost of vengeance. The coward pushed 2 soldiers forward as shields. Aaron merely neutralized them with surgical precision. These men would soon be his soldiers. Meanwhile, the fleeing count slashed his own guards. Blood painted the halls as the count cut down anyone blocking his desperate escape. Aaron's blood boiled. He blocked the only exit. "Surrender now, or your families perish." Tired of the count's tyranny, the soldiers dropped their steel and turned on their master. The count lunged in a frenzy, but a single arrow pierced his hand before he moved. Dropping to his knees, the tyrant begged for mercy, but Aaron's gaze remained ice-cold. A single flash of steel, the count's head rolled. "I don't keep vassals who won't listen." "The count is dead. Victory is ours." Hearing this, Count Grey surrendered his entire domain. Aaron began his conquest. Bran's power grew as he swallowed the neighboring territories whole. Inside the palace, the Emperor's fury shook the walls. "Aaron won again? How is this possible? We sent 30 mercenary mages, Your Majesty." Yet, a mysterious power protected the Duke's army. A mere Duke shouldn't threaten the Empire. But does Aaron still bow to my throne? Aaron swore to stay within Bran, but he's exploiting every loophole to expand his reach. If he breaks his oath, the Empire will crush him. But his expansion is legal. Imperial laws allow vassal wars. It was a rule the Emperor himself set for noble support. While the Emperor spiraled into frustration, the Crown Prince stepped forward with a cold smile. "Father, let me handle this. I will uncover Aaron's true intentions and assess Bran's strength. Go as a messenger of peace. Congratulate him on his victory while you scout his defenses. I'll leave at once. I want to see how much my old friend has grown." Days later in Bran, news arrived. Crown Prince Philip was approaching the Duke's gates. "Philip? The boy who tormented you?" Chero asked. Aaron knew this was a dangerous test. "He's coming to congratulate us?" "No. He's here to devour us before we're ready." Aaron needed a plan. "We must make him underestimate us, so he leaves our lands quickly." 2 days later, Prince Philip arrived at the frontier. He stared at the massive walls. "High walls for a backwater territory," Philip mused. "Monsters must be quite a problem here." "It seems you've learned a few tricks, Aaron," Philip shouted toward the gatehouse. "Duke Aaron of Bran, come and greet the Crown Prince of the Empire." Aaron stepped forward. Philip's presence was haunting his movements silent, his eyes sharp and predatory. He looked exactly like the bully from years ago. "Long time no see, dear brother. You've grown, Aaron. And little Chero. You've become quite the beauty, haven't you? I'm tired of your fake flattery, Chero spat. Philip just laughed, feigning old friendship. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoed from the wall. Please! Spare me! I was wrong! Move. Speed is survival, Aaron roars. Every soldier must now execute this sacred mission with divine fury. In Goddess Vivian's name, I shall crush the weak. That wraps up today's recap. Hit that like button. Until next time, everyone. Farewell.